So in this exercise, we're just going to go over simple setup and performance of the exercise, which is called pullover, which just means the reaching overhead with simple kind of activation of the core muscles with controlling the rib cage. So the first one, what we need to do is just realize where our rib cage is. By the way, the head support is quite important. A lot of people ask me about this. So if your head is over here, your ribs are automatically going to go up, especially if you have a little bit stiffer thoracic spine. So just supporting your head will bring the ribs automatically down into a little bit more neutral position. So the first step is going to be just taking a nice deep breath into your chest and then just fully breathing out. You can repeat this quite a few times. What shouldn't happen is, as you are going down, you shouldn't be starting to arch your neck into this position. So just keep your neck nice and long, taking nice deep breath into your chest, fully breathing out. Now, the big challenge is going to be able to control those ribs down in that position. So usually after breathing out, what I ask people to do is just to increase the intra-abdominal pressure. It's going to kind of activate the lower or external obliques, which can help to hold that rib cage down quite nicely. From that position, just gentle breathing, ideally kind of into the tummy, into the outside. So we are avoiding getting into this position, okay? So breathing out, ribs down, a little bit of intra-abdominal pressure, and then just gentle breathing kind of in and out, in and out. The next step, the next challenge is going to be just holding the rib cage down or kind of keeping the position or creating the awareness with the hand and then just reaching up only as far as we can while we are not doing this. So there's a little bit of independence between reaching with the hand and your rib cage. Rib cage is still staying down, arm is reaching up. If we have this, we can of course repeat the same on the other side just to make sure it's kind of relatively the same. After this, we should be able to keep the rib cage down, nice intra-abdominal pressure, and then just reaching up as far as we can. Quite useful tool is sometimes when you are going up, try to let it go too far where you kind of arch, then just to be able to go back or kind of breathing out, creating the little bit of, so you know how it feels to do it right or wrong and how to do it right. Sometimes the big help, it can be like, try to breathe out as you're going up. Breathing out will automatically create a little bit of pressure and a little bit of eccentric contraction of the abdomen, so it will help to maintain the ribs in the bottom position. So reaching up, breathing out as you're reaching up, the ribs are staying down. Then of course you can reverse it, like later on it can be independent of the movement. As I'm talking, it should be staying down, and even when I'm reaching up, I should be able to breathe in and breathe out, kind of just to do it the opposite way, because ideally the muscle activation and the rib control should be independent of the breathing cycle. Same actually, if you're out of breath, you might find this to be way more challenging. So then later on what we can do is just challenge it a little bit more, where we're going to be, let's say you are reaching up and you are lifting the leg, okay? So just it's going to be a little bit of coordination. Then the next part is going to be, you're just going to lift one leg, lift the other leg, still keeping the rib cage down. What you can think is almost like, not your lower back, but kind of your TL junction, so just higher lower back should be all the time in the contact with the floor without too much crunching, little bit of pressure, and you can be kind of doing your heel taps with the reach, still kind of making sure that it's not just the lower back, that you are keeping this portion of your ribs down. Oftentimes, even this position will help to activate the obliques, the muscles around, and avoid any kind of bulging where people can have the erected diastasis just over here. So it's going to help to spread the load from the rectus abdominis over here into the obliques, just to keep those ribs down. And of course, this wouldn't be end all and be all, but after mobilizing the rib cage, after mobilizing the upper back, the thoracic spine, after getting the person into with a little bit of awareness of intra-abdominal pressure with the controlling the rib cage, this is usually quite nice drill to get it then into maybe half kneeling or into the quadruped position, and then later on into the standing. Oftentimes when we think like we do these exercises and then magically when we are standing we're just going to change all of our function, sometimes it can happen, but I rarely see it. Usually it needs to be kind of just almost like step by step. Some people can maybe take 3-4 steps at one time, but oftentimes it needs to be just very, very gradually, depending on what that person can do. I usually say like, take as big step as you can, but not bigger, because then you are kind of just running into the compensation, and then you might be stuck for a few weeks doing the same thing, kind of wasting the time. Although just putting the effort in, I guess it's never a wasted time. Okay, thanks very much for watching. Good luck.